As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elesmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 41 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett, and I am here as always with my co-host Andy. How are you doing this week, mate?
I'm all right, thanks. I was reminded by someone, in fact, a listener of the podcast, shout out to Tom Pothecary, who said today on my Strava run, congrats on your yearly distance goal. I hit mine yesterday as well. Clapping hands emoji.
Oh,
and
wow.
I didn't have a clue, and I didn't really know what it was on about because I generally forgot I'd set myself one. And I found out today that I just passed 3,000k for the year.
Amazing.
So I don't know what that is in miles, but like 2,000. No, can't be 2,000, can it? Close to 2,000 miles.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, and I've been working out. I've been working out where I could run to.
Oh, from that distance?
From my house here. So I'm just currently looking at Tirana in Albania. That's only 2,864k. So that's easy. That's if anything, that's too easy.
So you're running to Albania next year, yeah?
Let's try Helsinki. Let's try that. Helsinki, calculate distance. What are you? Where have you gone?
I've got some strange noises going on. I've put one of my chairs, like an armchair, in this room, and my cat has found it and is trying to claw the underneath of it right at this moment. So
oh dear.
Yeah, never mind. Right, carry on. Sorry. So Albania is the
too easy. 2,000. That was 2,000. Helsinki, too easy. 2,800. Why don't we try Casablanca, Morocco?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Is that Casablanca?
Oh, that's so close. That's one of the old classics, isn't it? I've never actually seen Casablanca because I've never seen so many of that ilk of films, like, I don't know, like Breakfast at Tiffany's and, you know, all those sorts of films. I've not seen a lot of them. You know, those, are they from like the 60s or the 50s, those sorts of films?
Yeah, all of the big classics that people say you've got to watch, like Gone with the Wind and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I've never seen Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah, and
I don't know what that is.
Kane.
Yeah, which apparently I was always told was the best film ever made. I've never seen it. I've not. But anyway, anyone's wondering, Casablanca is so close. 2,980 kilometers away if I take the roads. So, and technically I've run further than that. So I've run a bit past Casablanca. So
look at that.
Yeah. So
amazing.
Quite pleased with that. Yeah.
So are you going to do a hardy skeezer next year and run to Casablanca?
Yeah, I'm going to go do. That seems to be like the thing at the moment. What is the most stupid possible thing to do? Let's film myself doing it. Because have you seen that guy? I don't know if you follow. There's a guy called Cameraman Stan who did he was one of the sort of guys behind the scenes for Hardy Skis, and I follow him. And he's a videographer, that sort of thing. He's now working with a guy called Mitch Hutchinson, I think he's called, or something like that. And he's kind of got that he's a really, first and foremost, a really nice fella. but he must have been like a Royal Marine or something like that, because he's one of those guys that's just like indestructible. He's basically trying to do the world's longest triathlon. So,
Okay.
or something like that. So he has started from his house, I guess in, I don't know, England somewhere, swam the channel successfully, made it to France. Now he's somewhere in Turkey. In fact, they've just had a car accident in the van. He cycled all the way to Turkey, and they're on their way for him to climb Everest in May. And he wants to be known as the person who's done the longest climb of Everest. So most people just start from base camp, but no, Mitch just started from his house. But yeah, so that's quite an interesting journey going on. Speaking of challenges and journeys and stuff, right? Next year I'm going to be 40, and I'm a bit of a sucker for a bit of a round number style challenge. And I just wondered if you or anyone listening could give me any inspiration or any ideas for any 40 related challenges, or any challenges, full stop. You know, everyone knows me and my sort of styles of running and what I like and what I don't like, and what I might like to do with my year next year. So I don't really know. But I want to set myself some targets for next year. I can think of one that I think I know you might say. That's to do with the number 4. To do with the number 40.
What's that?
Sub 40 10K.
Oh yes, yeah. Actually, I didn't even think of that one, but yes, that's got to be on your plan for next year, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, I think something like 40 marathons might be a bit too much.
Yes,
so it's just 3 months off.
Yeah, I was thinking of a 40-mile run somewhere, finding a trail ultra route somewhere for you to do as a 40-mile run. The other one I thought of was try and visit 40 different parkrun locations, which would be difficult because you've only got 52 attempts.
Yeah, that would be hard, because this year I've hardly been parkrunning at all. You know, like last year I only missed about. I think last year I might have done close to 40. This year, I reckon I've done about 15 or 20, which has been a bit poor on my behalf, really. It's not like I've been having lie-ins. It's just like on Saturdays. I'll tell you what it is. It's a little bit harder for me to get to Parkrun now, because I don't live so close to Worcester Parkrun anymore.
You can't just jog there, can you?
So it's like 10 miles to get there if I run. So yeah, I've just been like going for like local runs and stuff on Saturdays and stuff. So, but yeah, if anyone out there can think of any challenges that I could do, I'd be all ears. I did have a one that is a big one. Now this is a 10-year challenge. Have you heard of the South? It's a bit of a mouthful. The Southwest Coast Path. So it's the path that runs around Devon and Cornwall.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So it starts at basically Butlins in Minehead.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way around Devon and Cornwall. And then it comes back into Devon and finishes in Dorset, I think, at a place called Lyme Regis. And I think in total, it's about 600 miles. So it's a bloody long way. It's 1,000K. What I'm thinking of doing is 2 ultras a year and trying to complete the path in 10 years. So on my 50th birthday, I want to have done like 20 attempts and maybe have tried to do the whole thing. And the thought of what I would do is, if I do this, I'd film it, but keep everything back until at the very end. So all the things that happen in life, all the things that pass me by, I might not even, I don't know, I might have a completely different job by then. I might have moved outside. All sorts of things might have happened in 10 years. But the constant would be the running, hopefully. So I think that might be quite a good thing to try. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. And I'm thinking I'm trying to do, and all I'd need to do, I did the calculations on it. And to do 2 visits a year, I just need to do a 50K each time. So like, I know that's, I mean, it does not sound easy, don't be silly. But especially as running on the coast path, because the elevation is crazy.
Yeah.
But if I could just do 30 miles each time, and then maybe one in spring, one in autumn, one, and every year just do a different something different every journey. I think that might be quite interesting.
Yeah, that'd
But
be awesome.
That's one thing I'm thinking of.
And I like the idea of holding back the footage until you've finished and then putting it all together in one long thing.
And even if it's only ever me that only ever sees it, because in 10 years I might not be doing YouTube, I might not be doing, hopefully I'll still be running. But I just thought that I quite like the idea of life passing me by and just all the things that would have happened in that 10 years.
Yeah.
And a big project like that has taken me to do, because people have done that. There's a famous book on it called The Salt Path, which is I don't know if you've heard of it. They're making a book. They're making a film. I can't think who the two actors are. I think one of them might be Gillian Anderson. You know her from like Sex Education, The X-Files. I think she's one. I think she might be the female lead. I can't remember. But basically, the story is it's a couple, and I think the man is he gets diagnosed as terminally ill with cancer, and he just wants to do something that's like a mega trip. So I think they might even sell their house, or they sell it. They just up sticks and just do this massive walk, this pilgrimage around the coast path. And Laura's read it. She said it's fantastic, a fantastic read. So people do it. People do it all at once. I mean, it can take you 6 months, I think. But yeah. So that's one thing one crazy thing I've thought about doing.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I haven't really thought too many other things. So anyway,
it's wicked.
Enough about me. How the devil are you?
All right. Yeah. Just not in a great headspace at the moment with running, because I've had to. Well, I haven't run since Tuesday. It's a bit of a pain in the bum, but my calf just decided it didn't want to play ball, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't think it's like a pull or anything. It's just it's got really, really tight in one place, and it's like it's cramping up, but not cramping, if you get what I mean. It just feels like it's cramped. And when you get that really tight feeling, it's just that constantly whilst I was running. And it just got to the point where it was too painful to run through. So I just called it a day and finished off there.
Even easy and recovery sort of paces don't feel much better.
Well, it didn't on Tuesday. So basically, like we'll go through training later, but I did a big long run on the Sunday, and it's starting to tighten up towards the end of the run. Yeah. It's been doing this for the last few weeks, tightening up towards the end of runs and stuff, but not bad enough to stop me running. So it started to tighten up towards the end of the run on Sunday, and then on Monday, when I did my run up to my shop and back as like my easy day, just the whole of the run, it just felt tight and just felt really, really tight. So on Monday night, I did some self-massage with some Tiger Balm and tried to get in there to loosen it up. And then whilst I was work on Tuesday at lunchtime, I got in there again, started to massage it through. And when I got home from work on the Tuesday evening, it felt a bit looser. And I was like, wicked, I've managed to get the knots out of that muscle. I must have sorted it out. I'll go down to training. So jogged down to training, did the warm-up. And during the warm-up, it started to tighten up again. And then for the session, it was like... it was a loop around Forge Mill area, and it's got a long hill the one way and then a short, sharp hill the other direction. And we were doing alternating directions, and it's about 1,200 meters. And I set off, and I thought, I'm not going to run full pelt because it doesn't feel right. I'm just going to take it steady. So I set off, and I was running at like 7-minute a mile pace, so I wasn't pushing it at all. And I got to the end of the second rep and just thought, this is horrendous. Did my recovery, went to set off for the third rep and went nope, and then just hobbled back to the gym and got on the cross trainer to try and loosen it up, but it just didn't feel great. So I walked home and then haven't run since.
Well, I suppose that's one of the. I guess that's one of the most worrying things, isn't it? That you were feeling the pain, not even at the top end of your paces.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
you, yeah,
it's enough. And like the pain was in my calf. It's like the inside of my gastroc. So normally when I get like calf issues and stuff, it's normally my soleus and my going into my Achilles. So it's like the so on your calf you've got your gastroc, which is your main big muscles on the back of your leg, at the bottom
yeah.
of your leg. Underneath that is your soleus, and then the soleus then goes down into your Achilles, and it's normally my soleus that plays up in my
Does that
calf.
does that go all the way back up to the top of the back of your knee? Basically,
Yes.
does that go
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
way
yeah.
up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So it's normally the soleus that plays up for me. And last year when I had my calf injury, that's what it was. It was my soleus.
yeah,
Or if it is my gastroc, it's the outside of the leg, but this time it's the inside of my gastroc that's like tightening up. And I don't know why it's suddenly gone. It's never gone before.
mm,
So I don't know whether it's got anything to do with the fact I was sedentary for like 10 days during having COVID. And
mm.
then I got back into running too quickly and did too much mileage straight away. Or I don't know what it is. I don't know what it could be. But anyway, the pain from that whilst I was running was sending pain up my hamstring.
Yeah,
So it was just like there was no point in carrying on pushing through pain, especially when the pain's radiating from where it actually is painful into other parts of your body as well. So yeah, so I booked in with Nat at Body Cares yesterday and went and had a sports massage, and it started off great. I hadn't seen her for a while, so we had a real good chatting about things, having a laugh and a joke, and she was working on my quads to start off with, and the front of me on by my shins and stuff, and then I went onto the front, and she was doing my hamstrings and my glutes and stuff, and yeah, we were still chatting away, and then after about 15 minutes, she got to my calf, and I just went silent. And
yeah.
for the next 45 minutes, I spent the whole time going, yeah,
Oh,
and almost crying. So yeah, it's loosened it up though. It does feel
yeah.
way better than it did. It's just still not 100% yet.
Has it affected your like walking or anything like that? Has it affect? Can you?
On
Can you?
on Wednesday, it was hurting to walk whilst
God.
I was at work, and then towards the end of Wednesday, because I hadn't actually like pushed it and like exercised it, it started to feel a little bit better. But yeah, it was quite bad. So I'm we'll see. Yeah, but
I
at the end with Nat yesterday, she went, so yeah, now that we've done that, just take it easy for like the next few days. No running and stuff. And I went, so what you're saying is on Saturday I can go and race cross country? And she went, no, Brett, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying take it easy, and if you are going to walk a bit and just take it really easy. I went, so it's fine to go and run cross country on Saturday? And she went, no, it's not. And I went, I looked at her and she went, I know you're going to go and do it anyway, but I'm not telling you to go and do it, because if I tell you, yes, it's fine to go and do that, and then you turn around after you've blown up and your calf is in bits and you go, well, Nat told me it was okay. She went,
yeah,
I'm telling you it's not okay, but I know you're going to do it anyway. I went, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
So when was that? When is that race?
Tomorrow.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you must be massively gutted that you're not in tip-top shape, because is that.
It's so annoying. It's the first race of the Birmingham League. So yeah, we've moved up to Division 1, haven't we, this year? So it's the first race of the league. And I really wanted to run well, but I was getting this is the thing. I had such a good week last week, and then this week's just gone tits up. But
Yeah. Well, you'll be proud of me because that track the other night before we all got cracking, the guy from Chris, I think his name is. I think he's the Black Pair captain. He said we need cross country runners.
yeah,
For the season that's just about to start. So if you're interested, come and have a chat. And I said at the end, I was like, can I be that annoying person that says, yes, I want to do it, but I can't do it for a few weeks? He's like, yeah, that's fine. He said, but what you've got to do is you've got to register online. You've got to register with England Athletics, the cross country section, and you get an official number or something like that.
Do they not do that for you, Black Pair joggers? Not do it for you?
I think you have to. Well, he made it sound like it's something you can just do yourself.
Yeah, you can do it yourself, but as a club, I would have thought they would have got all of their members registered for cross country, because when you paid your club fees, did that include England Athletics registration?
Yeah, so I've got a official athletics England Athletics.
So you've got an England Athletics URN.
Yes.
Yeah. So therefore, Black Pair joggers should put forward all of their runners who want to run cross country into the thing, so you're registered to run in the cross country league. But I'm guessing they don't want to take on the admin work and want you to do it instead.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how faffy it is. Maybe it is a bit of a. Maybe I have to put all my name and address and all that and stuff in there. But
it depends how keen the person organising the cross country is.
I'm getting the point. I'm getting the feeling not very.
Yeah.
Or maybe this happens year on year, and his quality of life is significantly decreasing because of being messed about by constant promises of doing cross country, and people never do it. But I am interested. Obviously, I just sort of said to him, I'm at the end of a marathon block, so it's probably not sensible for me to start doing it now. But as soon as that's all done and dusted, towards the end of maybe even this year, but definitely 2025. I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to pick up a vest, because I still haven't got a vest, a singlet, and that's all I need, isn't it? I just need, because it's all free, isn't it? It's all like,
it's all part of your club registration, fees,
and so it does. I'm going to give it a go, because I do enjoy trail running. And I think I've built up a bit of fitness over especially the second half of this year, that I think the two could marry up quite nicely. Yeah. So
do you think when you give it a go, the first time that you give it a go, you'll just have a go in trail shoes, or do you reckon you're going to buy yourself a pair of spikes?
What would you recommend? I don't know.
Depends whether you want to go down and just see what it's like and try it out, or whether you want to go and run well and have a good dice with some people racing.
Yeah. Because obviously I don't want to do something half-hearted. I do want to go and give it a good go. And maybe these trail shoes that I've got won't be.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll probably take a minute.
If you want to go and give it a good go, if you want to go and give it a good go, I would say get some spikes. Go and do it properly.
But I'd need to obviously practice. So I'd need to go and do some training with them, because I've never put them on them in my life.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know how they would feel. So I would. I don't want to have. I also don't want to have all the gear and no idea. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have a clue what to buy, so I might have to bend your ear just to try and tell me what to buy and what length spikes to get and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but no, it's exciting. Yeah. I am going to give it a go, because it does look fun.
Definitely. Oh, mate, it's so much fun. It's ridiculous. Talking of spikes, actually, my cross country spikes had, after 2 seasons of mud and wet and rubbish, had reached the end of their life. So I've just managed to get myself a new pair ready for this season. So I will be christening these tomorrow.
Can you give us some ASMR on close to the microphone? Just rub it up and down and stuff. It is cross country shoes I'm on about. Yeah,
So
they do look tiny. They do look
I
nice.
haven't put the spikes in them yet, but you can see how. So I should probably get me other spikes. So I've got cross country specific spikes, but I also bought a pair of track spikes as well for when it's not so soft underground. So when the grass and the mud is a bit harder, you can get away with a little bit more cushioning. But when like the ground is so soft and all over the place, you don't want to be too high off the floor. So you can see from these, there's hardly any midsole. It's like a really thin amount of foam underneath your foot.
Are you saying they are perfect for atrocious conditions?
Yes. So
Okay.
basically, yeah. So basically, it's like just putting a piece of foam on the bottom of your foot,
Yeah.
very thinly, so you're not getting full impact from being barefoot, but you've
Yeah.
got the full feeling of the whole floor. Whereas
You don't.
when,
Yeah.
when you're wearing high stack shoes, you can't feel the ground underneath you. So
You don't want to be wearing Primex with spikes on
exactly. So
in that weather.
every undulation in the ground you can feel, so your ankle can actually work with it rather than rolling your ankle on every lump.
Yeah. Fair enough. Good stuff.
But yeah, they're exactly the same as the last pair I had. They're the Adidas Adizero XCS. I don't know if you can read that on the back. So right. they Adidas do two different cross country specific spikes. I think they do the XCS and the XCX, but I prefer these ones to the others. But yeah, after 2 seasons, the mesh on the top had started to get holes in from being muddy and drying out, and then they'd started to tear. So I just thought, it's time to get a new pair. But absolute bargain, because full price, they're 65 quid.
Yep.
And I've been looking for a pair everywhere. I didn't really care about what colour, because obviously they'll get muddy as hell. And I've been looking everywhere, and nowhere's got any like really cheap. The cheapest I could find was like 60 quid. Some websites had got them cheaper, but they'd got silly sizes, like they'd only got a size 5 or a size 12.5 or something like that. So that's why they were selling them cheap. And then the other day, I just randomly went onto Sports Shoes, and they only had size 9 in stock, and they were half price. And I was like, okay, thank you very much. In my basket, thank you. Bought. And
Let's go straight in my basket. Do you remember that?
Yeah. But yeah, so I got them for $32.50, which
that's a bargain.
Yeah, I ain't gonna grumble for a brand new pair of spikes. So yeah.
Yeah, good. So when will be the debut then?
Tomorrow.
Will it be
I'll be wearing those tomorrow,
yeah. Amazing, exciting stuff. So so do you even want to think about tomorrow, or are you just going to wake up and see how it all feels? And
I mean, the race doesn't start till 2:30 in the afternoon. So there's plenty of time to, I'm going to get up in the morning, get on the foam roller and roll it out a bit gently, get some Tiger Balm on it and get me thumbs in there to try and work it out, and then see how I feel in the afternoon. And if I stand on that start line and I feel all right, I'll go off at race pace. If I stand on the start line and it feels a bit tight, I'll jog it round. But every point is valuable for the team. Every point counts. So
I thought you were going to say, and then I'll just do what I always do and pretend I'm not in severe pain for 34 minutes or whatever it is, and just grin and bear it and put up with it.
That's normally what I do. But I've got in the back of my head that next Sunday is Alton Towers. So,
why do we keep doing this race, man? Because I don't know why. Because last time I basically nearly shat myself. You've got injured pretty much, last time or the time before. You went wrong the time before that.
Yeah, the first year I went wrong. Well, I didn't go wrong. The marshal sent me the wrong way, called me back and sent me off the wrong way for half a mile.
Brilliant.
And then, last year I completely got injured, all my glute and everything after Alton Towers was horrendous. You almost crapped yourself.
I think I did a little bit.
I know. And then last year we couldn't get on many rides because it was a bit rainy and you had to go early.
I had to go. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's 2 hours away. So we have to set off at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's freezing. Remember how cold it was as well?
Oh, no, yeah, it was freezing. Oh, yeah, because it rained for the whole race and it was freezing.
There's so many reasons not to do this race.
Yeah, it was horrendous. But do you know the reason we need to do it this year?
Go on.
So we can go and ride Nemesis.
Nemesis, yes. Imagine if we get there and Nemesis is closed. Oh, that'd be so much just our luck. But no, I'm massively excited for Nemesis.
And remember, this year, don't leave your camera out with the light flashing, saying it's recording whilst you're coming back into the.
I can't handle the shame. I won't record the rides again because I couldn't handle the shame of nearly being ejected from the park by a 15-year-old or whatever he was.
I love the way she told you off. It was so good. And you turned into a little.
And then she called over a 17-year-old supervisor. Oh God, worst day of my life.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. The embarrassment, the shame.
I still don't understand how people like what's his name, Harry Morgan, can film holding his camera in his hand on the rides.
Yeah,
and they're completely fine with that. But you've got a full-on proper chest mount, so it can't move anywhere, and they tell you to delete the footage.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to think about it.
But
I've got that footage from 3 years ago in the bag, so I just recycle that.
Yeah.
So well, for the rides footage, me and you are going to look like young, handsome stallions. He's 3 years old. But no, I think it will be fun next week, and I haven't really thought about how I'm going to do it because this week I'm in at the moment is my last week of peak.
Yeah.
So technically it's my taper. Alton Towers will be in my taper, but I think I'll probably run Alton Towers as like a condensed version of Sunday's upcoming long run, which will be in quarters and slowly progressing through, which will probably get me around in about 146 or something like that, 145. I haven't done one thing that I said I really wanted to do during this block. I really wanted to try and run a 140 half just to see how it feels, because that's obviously the halfway split of a 320. But for one reason or another, I just haven't done it because the half marathons that I have done, I've obviously fully sent them, my training run, I haven't really been doing marathon pace, at least that many Ks in a row. So yeah, I just haven't run. I've run way over or way under marathon pace this block. And I only until this week, or maybe last week, have I really started locking into marathon pace, which is a gamble to get to week 12 or something like that and not really experimenting what marathon pace feels like. But at the back of my head, I know that I've run that good 10K last week that we did. And I've run 2 half marathons a lot faster than 140. So I know I can do that. And the marathon pace that I have been doing in training has felt quite good. I just haven't been doing that much of it. And I've been doing the top end stuff, and I've been doing a lot of the easy stuff and the recovery stuff as well. So maybe I'm taking it a little bit too casually, but I actually don't feel too bad about the fact that I haven't done too much marathon specific stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll as always, we'll find out on race day or not. Yeah, because it's up in the air with Valencia at the moment because we mentioned it last week. But
yeah, I was going to say we should probably talk about that and see the situation.
After sort of diving into it a little bit this week and sort of doing a bit of, I mean, fair enough, my sources aren't the best. They're sort of YouTube and social media and stuff. But the situation looks way more severe over there than I thought it was. from the mainstream media that just gave us 1 or 2 days coverage, and that everything's fine, it's fine, the rain's gone away. It hasn't. Like some of those provinces or some of those towns that's south and west of Valencia, they're talking about years. They're talking like it's going to take the cleanup and the rehab of that kind of the regeneration of those areas could take months at the very least, let alone years.
Yeah.
So the travel infrastructure has been absolutely decimated as well. So I'm trying not to be negative about it, but I'm fully prepared for a cancellation of Valencia. I am fully prepared for it, but I'm also optimistic that it still can go ahead. But I'm not going to, it's pointless me speculating until a decision gets made, hopefully early next week, so I can literally start to have a plan about what to do. Because it wasn't long ago we were saying, I wonder if any of our listeners have ever trained for a marathon and their marathon the marathon's been pulled at the plug, at the last minute, and that looks like it could happen to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got all this fitness, but I don't know what to do with it. So that could be the case.
So, have they said when there'll be a decision? Because I'm sure I read somewhere. Where did I read it? Oh, it was on what's his name's Strava, Ben Felton's Strava. Ben is running.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody said, "Have you? Do you know whether Valencia's happening or not?" Because I think he's training for it. And somebody, his response was, "I had an email from the organisers saying they are making a decision early next week."
Yeah, so we all got the same thing. Yeah. So what was kind of strange was on the day after, or on the day of the floods, an automated email came through saying, "Just remind us of your what ID you want to bring on the day, and let us know if your address has changed." So everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, all right." So it's obviously fine then. And then obviously 2 or 3 days later, we all get this email saying, "We're going to make a decision next week as to what's going to happen," which in reality will be 3 or 4 days time. Because I think realistically it'll be Monday or Tuesday of next week, which would be like the week beginning the 14th or something. We'll just have to wait and see, but could go either way. But we were having a chat like beforehand about, if let's just say, for example, that I don't go to Valencia, could I do a time trial, a fake race, the not Valencia Marathon, around, somewhere that I know, because this is what I've been training for, and could I do it? You said you couldn't do that. You said
No.
you don't think you could.
No,
you would have to put your fitness into a race.
Yeah, because if I go and do a time trial after putting in because how many week training block have you done?
It will have been a 16.
So
week.
16 weeks of training, and you're going to finish that 16 week of training by doing a time trial around Worcester, probably around Pitchcroft Racecourse. And what do you actually get from that other than a GPS course of 26.2 miles? So it might not even be the right distance because it's off GPS.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, what reward does it really give you at the end of that block? Oh, I managed to run a marathon. Are you really going to push yourself 100% running around Worcester? Probably not. And if you do hit that 220 like you want, it's a bit of a non-result, really, because you can't claim it as a 220 marathon because it's not under race conditions.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I think you're thinking like a marathoner that's looking well below 3 hours as well. So from my point of view, I think if I was maybe at the faster end of the race, at the front of the pack, like as you are, I probably would feel a similar way to you. But I don't know. I think I could do it. I think I could do it as a time trial. I think I would not struggle to accept the fact that it wasn't a race, if that makes sense. I think I would be okay with it because I know that there's plenty more races in the sea.
Yeah.
And I also, let's just say for argument's sake that it gets delayed until, a month, 2 months down the line. My 16-week block, I don't think could turn into a 26-week block, because I think that's too much of a load on my body. So I feel like I just want to get all this fitness out of my system and just see.
If it does get postponed and it's a couple of months later, you just drop your training loads for a few weeks.
Well, yeah.
And then
if it does get postponed,
and then build again.
Yeah.
So,
and probably enjoy Christmas and probably not.
Yeah. And then build for
the
same race, because you wouldn't want to go and race around Worcester and then try and race it again a couple of months later. That would be ridiculous.
But from my point of view, I don't mind so much. I think now I know. I think I would be annoyed if it was my fault, if I missed my plane or if I missed. If there was a reason why I had to do it locally, but because of all the horrendous things that have happened in Valencia, part of me actually feels slightly weird about going there in the first place, because I feel like I'm flying in there on the Friday. Hi guys, I'm just here to do a fun run. Don't mind me. I'm just going to eat a few bagels, run 26 miles, and go home again and have a lovely life when I get home. Sorry about your flooding and everything. See ya. I do feel horrendous going there to have fun.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. Yeah.
So, and there's also, if I did do another marathon, because I think there are other options around Europe, that's another potentially 600-800 quid I've got to fork out, because I can't. I think if Valencia doesn't happen, I think I've lost the money on those flights now, which weren't cheap, by the way, because getting flights to Valencia from this neck of the woods is a nightmare. I've had to get 2 connecting flights, and they were both quite expensive. It's not like going to Dublin, where it's 30 quid on Ryanair. So I probably will lose money there. Fortunately, I haven't paid for my accommodation yet, because that was a last. You've got until 2 weeks before to cancel.
Yeah,
that was a booking.com thing. So I don't think I've lost much money there, but I could have. A lot of people will have prepaid for their accommodation. So I think, well, how much? This is what it boils down to: how much do I really care? And about the marathon. This is going to sound crazy to maybe even you, but most people. I think I'm more proud of this training block than what I will achieve on race day, whatever happens, because I am in the shape of my life and I love it. It feels so good, because I've never felt this strong. I've never felt this, my heart rate is so low, when I'm doing easy runs, and it's like, wow, a few years ago, I could never touch these heart rates or this effort level. I can now go and do, Parkrun, and then do a 10K afterwards, and it not really touch the sides. All this stuff that I had always dreamt of building up to. I've always dreamt of building up to your, I can't nowhere near your level, but like, I'd always look at the way that you would train and the volume that you would punch out week in, week out. And now I'm kind of getting there, and I'm just thinking, man, I've had such a brilliant 4 months of training that whatever happens to my marathon day, however I run this marathon, if I run it, wherever I run it, that would be the cherry on the cake to a really amazing cake, if that makes sense. And the cake is the bit you remember. The cake is the bit you enjoy the most, not the cherry on the top.
100%. Yeah. So, and how many races have you run and then looked back and gone, I can't quite remember what that race was like, but you remember all of those training runs and when you hit those paces and how you felt so good for all those weeks leading up to the race. Yeah. I know exactly how you feel, and that does make sense. But it's just that cherry on the top just finishes off, doesn't it?
I know.
That placing that cherry on the top of that amazing Sunday and just sprinkling some sprinkles on the top, some hundreds and thousands.
Yeah, I know.
It makes it, because the Sunday with all the ice cream and the caramel sauce and the bits of brownie and everything and a squirty cream on top. Looks great, but doesn't quite look as good as with a cherry and some sprinkles, does it?
I know, but in some ways, like that again, I know we were going to mention this geezer as well, like the Matt Choi thing, right?
Yeah.
And about the whole influencer culture as well. But like, where there are people that don't train for marathons, and all they give you is the caramel sprinkles and the cherry, but not even the cherry, because they don't run a good race. But all they give you is all the good fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
You don't see their cake that they've created, baked, and get to eat as well.
But that's so obvious with their videos, and that's where their videos fall down, and that's where their whole running falls down, is because instead of concentrating on the running and letting the running do the talking, they're too busy letting the dollar and pound signs do the talking, and they're bowing down to what people want them to do for their paid content rather than making the important things important. They're too busy trying to make a quick buck off it, and that's the main problem. Is we love the game of running so much. That's the important part, and all our effort goes into that. Running first, document it afterwards, and try and be as non-intrusive to other people running as we can. Like when I'm filming a race and I'm talking to the camera, I'm not doing it to annoy all the people around me. I'm doing it to document where I am in that race and what's happening at that point in time. But I try and do it quickly, then put the camera away. And then if I'm filming other things, I hold the camera quite close to me, so I'm not in the way of other people. And like you film with your head cam and things, so it's not all out there. But when it comes to taking a whole crew with you, that's just that's obvious what it's all about.
Somebody made a really interesting point as well on that Matt Choi's Instagram post. Apparently, his e-bike camera crew were creating a perfect slipstream for him, so he didn't have to weave because nobody was around him. So he had space and time, and he wasn't packed in like a sardine like most of us are. But because he'd created, and someone I follow called Ben, I think his name's Ben Watts. I think he lives down in the Channel Islands. He ran New York, and he said he nearly got taken out by one of the blooming bikes. So
one of the bikes that shouldn't have been on the course. This is the craziest thing about it, is he knows the rules. They've been told you cannot have bikes or any powered vehicles on the course. No race ever allows that, let alone like in a major.
No, you can't even pay. You can't even. An elite couldn't do that.
Yeah. So he's been told you cannot do that, and he's gone, well, I'll do it anyway.
It fell on deaf ears. Yeah.
It's the typical influencer mindset of, I don't care what anyone says, I'm going to do what I want. And and this is the thing, it's not the first time he's done it. He's done it several times, and now he's being called out properly for it. And he's got the consequences that he should have had in the first place from the first time he did it. I'm glad he's been disqualified from the race, so his actual race result doesn't count anymore, and he's banned from any New York runners race in the future.
Do you know what made me laugh as well?
Good.
He posted 3 reels before he posted his
exactly
his apology video.
Yeah.
So absolute clown.
If he
knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. If he hadn't been called out and he hadn't have been disqualified, he wouldn't be saying sorry.
He's only sorry because he got caught.
Yeah, he's only sorry because he got told off for doing what he shouldn't have been doing in the first place.
He's not listening to the podcast when we've said, if you can't be good, Matt, don't get caught. He's not listened.
But
he's on the podcast next week, and we're he's not really.
but this is the crazy thing, right? When we say that, we mean like little things, not things that are going to disrupt and possibly change other people's races. Because
I was talking about when I was 8, taking a quid from on top of the mantelpiece of where my dad put his change because I used to know how much money he put, so I could go buy some sweets.
Exactly.
I'm not on about
brazenly,
I'm not
or
on
returning an elephant hat to Amazon.
If you can't be good, don't get still undefeated, still haven't been caught, so still undetected.
But if there's people that you know who are almost getting taken out by the e-bikes, or those bikes are forming a slipstream for him because they're pushing people out the way, you're affecting other people's races, and they have spent months training for that race just for you to interrupt it and possibly destroy their race because you want to film yourself with no top on running a marathon. Get out.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So we should probably say, for context, by the way, it's probably 10 minutes too late, but this week at the New York City Marathon, there was a person of fairly big social influence. You know, I'd never heard of him, but he's got big numbers on Instagram. He's got 500K on Instagram, 400 or 300 on YouTube. TikTok is big as well, I think. And he ran the New York City Marathon, and he has since been disqualified for his so-called, film crew illegally riding bikes. It sounds so crazy because it's so stupid. Not even e-bikes on the course.
Not just cycle bikes, e-bikes. So like motorized vehicles on a course in between thousands of runners
who are not even looking forward. They're looking at him to try and frame him and film this guy, and they're driving through crowds of people. It is so bad on so many levels. And the New York Roadrunners, obviously, it got brought to light. And mate, I could burn any bridges with Runner and the Red Line, running the Red Line here, and Runner. But Runner are a little bit got their hands, not burnt, but somebody from the Runner app, I think, was officially pacing him, I think.
Oh, really?
Yes. And he was an affiliated runner.
I was going to say, I'm sure he was sponsored by Runner, wasn't he?
Yeah. So this guy who did an apology was the COO, I think, or whatever that means, the C something O of Runner. And his apology is like, I didn't see any camera crew. I didn't see anybody. I wasn't aware of anyone.
I didn't see anyone because they'd made a path for me to run in free space, so I didn't see it.
Yeah, I couldn't see it at all. And so he claimed, he pleaded ignorance. But this guy apparently, I could be wrong because I haven't done my research, but it looks like Runner have got him the place at New York Marathon, which has, again, got people's backs up, that certain people are getting privilege because of social status, that they're getting free stuff. And the people who really just want to run the marathon and have to pay for it can't. Or people that have been, like us, have been entering the ballots. I mean, I'm a fairly newbie to this game. I've only been entering the London Marathon for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But some people have been 20 ballots and more.
I'm on my 11th ballot.
Oh, yeah.
11 years in a row I've entered the ballot for London.
I know that'll be the same at New York. One person will have missed out with a New York place, and it's gone to him. And just a little bit. It's disappointing, isn't it? Because they're abusing they're making it all about them. So, okay, right. From a film making, that's one thing that annoys me, actually, when people call a vlog a film. It's not a film, it's a vlog. It's a YouTube video. But they're approaching it like they're blooming Quentin Tarantino. And they're getting multiple camera angles to create, a video.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in a way. They'll use the e-bikes for obvious reasons, so that the videographer doesn't have to run, don't have to use any effort, and they can film with a really smooth motion. It looks really good. It obviously looks as good as you can ever film somebody running. However, what a crazy way to get it done. It's stupid, and it's so self-centered, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just massively struggle with it. I can't.
Yeah. But the rules are there for a reason. And you can't just go about breaking the rules in such a flagrant way and not think that you're going to get caught and called out and disqualified and stuff. It's like for cross country, at the nationals and the what's called the county championships and the relays and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they say you cannot have any headphones in. If we see you with headphones, you'll be disqualified. You cannot have any recording equipment, so no GoPros or cameras or anything like that. So all of the people in the race, no one films. If you want to film it, you get your camera to somebody on the sidelines and they film you going past. And that's the footage that you use. You don't use in-race footage because you're not allowed to take it. Yeah. So those are the rules that you follow, and the rules are there for a particular reason. Because if you're too busy concentrating on filming and you trip over or trip someone else up during cross country, you're going to wreck their race as well. So it's fairness. When it comes to a marathon, even more important that you don't interrupt other people's races, because as we always say, like a shorter race, like a 5K or a 10K or cross country or something like that, you can go again the next week and try again.
Yeah.
A marathon, you've built up for, 16, 18 weeks, spent all that time training just for somebody on an e-bike to take you out. It's terrible. I tell you who does do filming of their races really well and still makes it look incredible is Eric Floberg.
Yeah.
He does hardly any in-race footage and gets loads of people at the side of the races to film him going past. And that's mainly what his race footage is people at the sidelines filming him. Yeah.
I think that's sensible. And if he ever does have one of his cyclists, videographer guys with him, they're always obviously off the course, and it's not, well, as far as I'm aware anyway, it doesn't look like it interferes with anybody. But people also had a go at Nick Bester, because his videographer uses roller skates sometimes at Parkrun. Now, Parkrun, the one that I've seen him do is Dulwich, I think it's called. Is that the one that everyone does, the fast one? And people have had a go at him for that, saying...
See, that's a bit naughty, because Parkrun, right, go and run, don't roller skate, because it's not park roller skate. So I agree with that. He does need to be called out for that.
It's the only way anyone can keep up with him, though.
Yeah, it's true. But at the same time, it's Parkrun. So if you're going to be on the Parkrun course, be running or walking.
And it's fine for that first lap, but the second and the third lap, that park is so...
Yeah,
it's Weave Central, isn't it? So, so apparently people have had a go at him for that as well. But it kind of makes you as a creator think, oh God, what am I doing this wrong? Like, is anyone going to come and have a go at me now when I'm filming myself?
It gives all of us a bad name, and this is the thing. He is hands down an influencer, and he's got that influencer mindset that everything revolves around him and it's all about him. Which is really bad, but it gives people like us who just want to document our races and don't care about influencing or anything like that. I ain't an influencer. Who am I influencing? No one. But it gives us a bad name because people put us in the same bucket as him. That they say, oh, you're exactly the same as him because you're filming the race, but we're not. It's nothing
or
wrong.
You want, or you. That's why you're doing this because you want to be like him. So, no, I don't want anything like that. Like, I'm not interested, because we're training, we're running, we're using brands. that we're interested in and that what help us. Like, did you see Andy Rayner's video on all this week? It was actually
Yes, I
quite good.
did.
The
Yeah,
FOD runner.
yeah,
Thought
yeah,
he made quite a balanced assessment of all this,
yeah,
really, and it is interesting how easy it is to fall into that trap, to have a gathered audience, and then brands see that you've gathered that audience, and they say, right, here's this for free. You don't have to pay
yeah,
for it. You don't have to pay for anything ever again. You have free shoes for life. All you got to do is make a video about it. And it's like, well, your audience are there waiting for your next video.
yeah.
So all it's costing the brand is a pair of shoes to sell thousands of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's mental when you think about it, isn't it? There's no advertising budget because it's just one unit of their stock that's the cost.
And that's the other thing you were saying was like people who are given these race places because they want to advertise things for the brands and stuff, and the brands get them places. They're going and running these marathons and these races, but they're not racing them. They're going and jogging around and having a lovely, wonderful time at a really easy, steady pace, which you're taking that place away from somebody who would put their heart and soul into that race and do everything they could to race it as hard as they possibly could. Yeah. And instead, somebody who's been given the place for free is going and jogging it.
Do you know what? It's making me fall out of love slightly, or want to do them less, the majors, because it's making me think that these majors are not, that the smaller races are less stressful and less.
Yes, but at the same time,
less to worry about.
You can't let the small few though tarnish your view of something. There's a reason the majors are the majors, and they are a proper spectacle. They are such an incredible atmosphere, and well, I say everybody, 99% of the people are there for the same thing.
Yeah.
And when you get into that atmosphere of that many people all there with the same idea and same desire, it's incredible. So don't let that put you off wanting to do them, because there's nothing like it. There really is nothing like it.
Yeah. No, because it has kind of maybe just. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few of the New York videos and stuff, and especially when this news has come out about this guy and stuff, and it's a shame for the New York Marathon. They've got to deal with this, isn't it? Because it's like they don't need to be dealing with this nonsense. No,
exactly.
This rubbish.
Exactly.
But I think they've taken a really hard stance. They've banned him for life, I think.
Yeah, banned him from the New York Marathon, but also banned him from all other New York runners' races.
So I think the Brooklyn Half is another big one that they do. Probably the Abbott Dash as well the day before. There's all sorts of races that they do, isn't it? So consequences faced, and I wonder if that's going to spread to other race organisers saying, "No, you ain't doing it."
Yeah.
But I wonder if all he needs to do now is bury his head in the sand for a couple of weeks, wait till this all blows over, and all of a sudden he's gained loads of publicity.
This is the thing. If you look at his apology video, there's so many people like backing him up and saying, "Oh, you didn't know. Oh, look, you're so positive. We back you. Come on, keep your head up." And it's like, no, let him have his actual comeuppance for what he's done. But there's so many people supporting him, and most of the people supporting him are probably the same sort of people that do the same sort of thing, and they want to be influencers.
Yeah,
it's the runners who are saying, "No, what you did was wrong. Sorry, you deserve what you're getting." And the whole thing of it took him 3 reels of saying how great his race was before he actually made an apology, because he actually got properly called out for it.
Yeah, really, really poor.
But yeah. But as we were saying, I don't want to be if like we're saying we don't want to be influencers. We don't want to be like that. If I wanted to be like that, you wouldn't have to wait 6 months for one of my videos to come out.
That's how we know that you're definitely a content creator. If that.
Yeah. Don't create anything.
Sometimes content creator.
Yeah. On that note, I have actually released some videos recently.
You have, yes.
Yeah. 3 new videos have come out in the last couple of weeks. So yeah. If you haven't seen them yet, please do go and have a watch.
So what was it? Road relays was one of them. Hilly 100.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So first, what was the first one? What have I...
Lidl shoes.
Oh yes, my Parkrun in Lidl shoes was my first one, and then the Hilly 100, which was back at the end of May, and then the 2 Castles, which was the start of June. So yeah. So, but all really good days. I had great time.
It's so confusing when I click on your video and you're just running down to Parkrun and it's like blazing sunshine. All the trees have got all the leaves on, and it just looks like 36 degrees. And like, wow, this was a different time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's taken me 6 months to get round to making the videos, but I'm hoping I can try and get back up to date. So when I do release the videos from winter, they'll actually be in winter time. So it won't be summer when you're looking at winter races.
Have you thought ahead? Because I guess we're kind of in that territory now. Have you done the maths of where the London block will need to start? Are you allowed to enjoy Christmas, or will it start before Christmas?
It's the end of April this year. I think it's the 27th of April. Let me just have a look on the calendar. So if it's the 27th of April, which I think it is, if I start on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So yeah, I'll probably start probably the 3rd week of January and have a 15-week block.
That's quite
nice. That's quite nice, actually. Yeah, so I can get Christmas and New Year out of the way and not have to start on the 1st of January like I did this year.
I don't know if this helped me or not, but I did, because I felt really out of shape this summer. Like I got a bit poorly because I got COVID and stuff, and it just sort of knocked me a little bit this summer. And then when my August block was coming round, I just did about 2 weeks of like base stuff just to get back into it. And I got up to a volume where I wanted to be, and I just sort of ran a lot of easy and recovery stuff. So I was not used to it all by the time I started the first week, but I just found that quite useful just to work on my base.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
I think that's possibly somewhere where I go completely wrong, because I'm injured most of the time, and I think it's because I don't really have an off season. I go from spring marathon training at the start of the year, do a 3-month block or 4-month block up to the marathon, finish the marathon, and then go straight back into racing half marathons and stuff. And then track season starts. So I start doing track racing in the summer. And then as soon as track racing finishes, I then go into autumn training, ready for cross country to start. So then I race all the cross country all the way up into New Year, and then start marathon training again. So I never have an off season, never have any time where I'm just working on base stuff. And that's probably something I really should think about, because, yeah, as I say, I'm injured all the time.
Yeah.
So I think get Alton Towers out of the way. And then I think the second Birmingham League race for the cross country is the end of November. So get that out of the way, and then I can possibly just have December as a reduce the mileage, reduce the intensity and really get back to ground zero and start again.
Yeah.
In the new year.
Yeah. Because I think hopefully if this calf starts behaving itself, because when you started your Manchester training, you were injured, weren't you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
In January.
Yeah. I'd had several, like a month off because of injury.
Yeah.
When I started Manchester block, so I don't want to start a block injured again because
were
it seems to be the
you
way.
Secretly limping your way round pacing me for that 41 last week, 2 weeks ago?
No.
Did that feel all right?
I was a bit tight afterwards.
Right.
But it was all right. Yeah. No, it wasn't bad at all. No.
You've had so much love in my comments.
Really?
Oh, Brett's the best. Brett's the most amazing pacer. Brett's the best. He's not. I tell you what, he's not, because he paces me too fast. I was like, I didn't sign up for this. Why are we get these aren't 650s, these aren't 647s. Just because you're speaking in miles and I don't understand them doesn't mean you can just run fast. But I just had to cling on, didn't I?
Yeah.
So I just had to get over it and just get a massive PB.
But that's because you were underestimating yourself.
Yeah, I know.
You were proper sandbagging yourself. You were.
I think so. Yeah.
Because you ran, I'd say 9K of that 10K race chatting to Dan. So don't try and tell me you were at full pelt because you were chatting around the whole race.
Yeah. I was slagging you off, saying, God, you're doing too fast. I've got to slow down. So, yeah, I know. But I would put that run probably up there with Bushy and the Worcester race we did last year.
Yeah.
As I was at my limit for, like, I know I was sort of able to chat a little bit, but I don't think I could have run any quicker. I might have maybe kidded you on that I was slightly more relaxed than I was, but I was blowing. I think the only difference is now, and I think track is the massive reason here. I'm starting. I don't want to get myself, don't want to come across like I've got it all worked out. I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that's what it is. And I think that I've always bailed and hit the ejector seat a bit too quickly and a bit too early. And now it's like, okay, this hurts, but this is the game. This is what it is. This is what a 10K is. I'm at high 170s for the whole, I'm in zone 5 for 30% of this. And I've just got to get over myself and I've got to get used to it. It hurts, it burns. And we don't rest until we cross that line. Yeah. And I think it's taken me until now to really realize that. And which is why I'm really excited one day to do, hopefully one day soon, to have a really good go at my 5K, because nothing hurts like a 5K. But I think my mentally, I'm a little bit more in tune with it now. And I think hopefully next time I do it, I'll be able to just say, no, stop being a little wimp. Let's not hold back. Let's push on. So yeah, and I think track is, I don't know what it is about track. I don't know if it's the shorter recoveries and the hard reps. I think it must literally be that.
No, tell you what it is. It's structured training. That's what it is. Yeah. Yes, you're putting in more effort because you're on the track, but it's structured training and training with people of a similar ability. That's what it is. Yeah. It because you were doing reps before and you were doing interval training and things like that before, but now you've got proper structured sessions and you're not setting the training yourself. It's being set by someone who knows what the best training is to get the best out of someone.
Yeah, that's an interesting point actually, because I always have that kind of nervous. I don't know if it's the same at B&R, but we all sort of stand around in a sort of half moon shape crescent around the board where he's written the sets on, and you can read, what sets, you can do that night. And everyone's going, is it 600s? Is it 800s? Oh no, it's 800s. Like, and everyone's like, and then there's like this one we did in the week. I'll talk to you about in a bit. We were doing like zone 17 200s, and yeah, it's just a beautiful kind of miserable, isn't it? It's just beautifully miserable. Yeah.
Well, I did exactly that the other week when it was the hill reps on Prospect Hill. I got down there and I said to Pete, I went, "What's the session tonight?" And he went, Prospect Hill reps. And I went, "Oh man, really?" And he went, "Yeah." And I went, "Yeah, yay!" And he went, "That's the spirit." So yeah. But it's one of those you go, oh man, but then when you get into it and you start pushing yourself and you push yourself through it, no one feels happy or feels good whilst they're doing the session, but as soon as you finish, you are on top of the world and you think, man, I got through that, managed to hit paces, and it's amazing. But no one's happy before the session. No one wants to go and do that session. But you get yourself into it and you start to get into it. And when you finish, you feel brilliant.
And another thing, I think another reason I'm starting to enjoy track, and maybe I could eat my words here, maybe the same kind of thought process why I want to try cross country is because it's a different style. Like, for example, right, the other day, someone wrote a comment on one of my videos saying, it'd be lovely if you tell us a little bit more about the paces that you're running on the track. And I said, well, I don't think I want to do that now because someone had a go at me a week or two back saying, well, you said you run this pace, but if you did, then your average pace is wrong. So I think my Garmin can't adjust.
Yeah.
So the only thing that matters really is the lap time, isn't it? That's the only thing that matters.
Yes.
And that's what I'm learning.
Yes. So yeah, that's the brilliant thing about a track is it is a measured 400 meters. So as long as you run in lane 1, if you do a lap of the track, you've done exactly 400 meters. And there's a line at every 100 meters. So no matter what length your rep is, as long as you start on that line and finish on the other line and start and stop your watch at those points, you know you've done the exact distance because the track is measured out. And when people are doing reps out on the road, you're not sure exactly what the distance that you're doing is. It's just approximate. But on the track, it is 100%. That's the distance. And if your watch hasn't got a track mode or a track setting, then it's always going to be out. It's going to be all over the place. Because if you look at your map on Strava after you've finished, if your watch hasn't got a track mode, it's all over the place. It's not an oval. It's a bit wobbly. And some of them you're in lane 8 and some of them you're in lane 1. So that's the thing. That's what I really like about the Coros is it's got a track mode. So you say, I'm running on the track, and then it asks you what lane you're running in. So if you're running in lane 4, it will add on the extra that lane 4 gives you for a 400 meters. So it won't be 400 meters each lap. It will be the extra, whatever that is, extra few meters. So you tell it what lane you're in. So if you're running in lane 1, say you're running in lane 1, and it knows every time you get to the same point, you've done exactly 400 meters.
Yeah. Because I've noticed that with my paces, I can run, let's just say, a 1:28 400, and then I'll run another 1:28, but the second 400 will be 2 seconds slower per K. And you think, well, what's happened there? But like, that's why I don't think it's sensible to start telling people, well, I was at this pace, because I wasn't.
No, but you could work out your paces from your lap times, but you don't want to use the ones that are on your Garmin because they will be all over the place. And you've got to think about points of a second as well. So if you did a 400 in 1:28 1:28.0, so exactly 1:28, and then the next one you did in 1:28.9, that's a completely different pace.
Yeah, it is. It's like 3 seconds slower per kilometre, isn't it? Basically, or something like that.
Yeah,
or more,
exactly.
or more. So yeah. But before, because I think we can chat. Well, I know your week of training hasn't really gone as well as you would have liked it to. But before we talk about a week of training, I was going to say quickly, after the New York City Marathon, everyone collected their 6-star medals.
Yes.
Surprise, Monday morning, there's another one.
Yeah.
So
it's now
Sydney,
7 stars.
Yeah, Sydney has now officially been announced. I don't know what time of year. I think it's just happened, isn't it? About
not
October?
long ago. Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone has already planned to run in Sydney in October next year. Look, I mean, from what I've seen, it looks pretty cool. It goes over the Opera House, goes outside the Opera House and over the Sydney Harbour Bridge. It looks fun.
Because if you think about it, October is Australia's spring.
Of course, yeah. So it's a spring marathon, yeah.
So they're coming into summer now, so they're about to hit their hottest time of the year. So it's their spring marathon. But what I was going to say is, I listen to Inside Running podcast quite a lot, and they're Australian, and they were talking about this, and they were saying the course will have to change now it's become a major. Because there's parts of the course at the moment that go down like pedestrian paths and things where it's quite narrow, and it's not great, especially if you then get 40,000 people trying to run it. So the course will change, but I think that will be a good thing, because they'll now think about the best route for 40,000 people to go down. So it's going to hit like the best places around there, isn't it? And the best views. Yeah.
Well, I've never been to Australia, or obviously Sydney, so I don't know. But I've got a feeling it's quite a hilly. It's not going to be one of the fastest majors, definitely. But isn't there talk of maybe Cape Town and one in China being added as well at some point?
Yeah. Well, they want. I think eventually they want to put one on each continent, don't they? In each area. That's the idea.
Yeah.
So we've got Europe and stuff with London and Berlin, and then we've got 3 in America, haven't we? Boston, Chicago, and New York. Got 1 in Tokyo. Now we've got 1 in Australia. So I think they want to try and get them globally and reach every part.
In Africa, yeah. Well, that will be So if anyone's put the name down to run, maybe there's a ballot. I don't know. I would have thought there probably is.
Oh, yeah, I would have thought it would change.
Everybody's going to want to be the first people to get their hands on that 7-star, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's Australia for the sort of place. Well, for most of us, you can't just go there for the weekend. I mean, you can arguably not go to New York for the weekend, but a lot of people have to because of work and whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go to Australia, I mean, you need 3 or 4 days to acclimatise.
Yeah.
To the fucking spiders and the snakes, let alone the heat and the time of day. But no, someone told me once, going to Australia, as soon as you get off the plane, everything just wants to kill you. If it's the severe heat or the deadly spiders or the snakes or the crocodiles
or the boxing kangaroos.
Yeah. Oh God.
But I mean, that's got to go on the bucket list now, hasn't it?
Sydney. I think so. Yeah. Can I give a quick shout out to someone that ran New York, by the way?
Yes,
last week?
I was going to just quickly go back to results from New York and talk about that. So before we do shout outs, just quickly. So the winner was Abdi Nagayi, who won it in 2:07:39. He pulled out of the Olympic marathon. So after a DNF at the Olympics, he came back and won New York, which is pretty cool. And he is a runner from Holland.
Yes.
So same as Sifan Hassan. Cool. I think originally from an African country, but has changed nationalities to to the Netherlands.
Yep.
And then the women's was won by Sheila Chepkirou or Kiru, I'm not sure, in 2:24.35, and she outkicked reigning champion Helena Beery.
Yeah, it's a good
with the
finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good. So yeah, that was a great run. It was her first major win, and I think she's also an Adidas athlete. So that's another gold in a major for Adidas. And I think, am I right in thinking she was wearing the Pro 4 and not the Evos?
Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
just while you said that, I've got something for you. At the time I saw it, I thought, oh, Brett would love that. I've just got to find it. Hopefully I screenshotted it. Didn't screenshot it. Brilliant. Okay, don't worry about it.
Is it the amount of medals that each shoe has won at each majors?
I think it was on Run Shoe Bible. In fact, I'm going to find it.
And the Evo 1 has got like 5 golds.
Something like that, yeah.
And then the Alpha Fly has got 3, I think. And the Adios Pro 4 has got 1 now, which I think is that one. The Vaporfly 2 has got 1.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So, World Marathon Majors podium shoes results: Adios Pro Evo 1, 5 wins, 1 silver, 3 bronze. Alpha Fly 3 is next, 2 wins, 3 silvers, 3 thirds. Vaporfly Next Percent 2s, 2 wins. Adios Pro 4s, more than I thought, 1 win, 2 silver, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds. And what do you think that the 5th and last one is?
It's got to be the Metaspeed Paris.
Correct. The Metaspeed Sky Paris with 1 win, 1 second, and 1 third. So those 5 shoes. Can't believe that the Next Percent 2's in there and not the Next Percent 3.
I know.
The Vaporfly 3.
Mad, isn't it?
Because I've got the Next Percent 2's. Interesting.
But yeah, so just going back to New York as well. New York. So this year, New York became the largest marathon in history, with the most finishers on any marathon ever. So they had 55,646 finishers.
Amazing.
Crazy.
That's a lot of people.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. I must admit, it does look like an awesome marathon. The support. I heard someone describe it as a 26-mile finish line.
Yeah.
Because apart from maybe 1 or 2 of the bridges where people aren't allowed, like apparently it's just so noisy and so loud.
Yeah.
But it does look a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks incredible. And then just before we do shout outs to a couple of people, there was one more record that was broken at New York. Did you see this?
I think I know what you're going to say. Yes.
So when I ran Manchester marathon, there was a guy called Chris Howitt who filmed his race as well. And halfway round, I bumped into him and we had a chat, and I filmed him in my video and he filmed me in his. He ran the marathon in Crocs, and he broke the Guinness World Record for the Crocs marathon. And at Manchester, he ran 2:58.24, which is incredible to run a sub 3 in Crocs. But at New York, a guy called Kevin Leemkula broke the Crocs marathon world record by running 2:51.27.
Flipping hell, that's a massive.
Which is mental. So he knocked 7 minutes off Chris's record. But that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it was good for. Was it Chris? You say his name was?
Yeah.
It was good that you had the record, because even if you have a record for 5 minutes, you've got a world record. It doesn't matter how long for.
Yeah, exactly. So, it don't matter. Yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
lots of people were saying to him at the time, yeah, but this guy's run a marathon quicker than that in Crocs, and you're not the record holder. But the thing is, he officially went through the Guinness World Records channels and got it registered as an official record. So you can do all the records you want, but if it's not official, it's not a record.
You have someone that signs you off at the end, don't you?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Because I think Donato did that at London, didn't he, with his hospital gown?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
well, the shout out I wanted to give was to the Worcester Kipchoge, as I call him, Kieran Deegan, who went to New York City with a bit of an injury. And he said to me once when we were running into Parkrun, he's like, I'd love to do all the majors in sub-3. That's what I would love to do. And I think he's done Berlin. I think he might have done Chicago and maybe Boston. And he did New York in 2:57.25.
Amazing.
So, and he said he was carrying an injury as well. And he said he managed to get to 18 miles sort of pain-free. And then, the last 6 miles or 8 miles must have been really, really tough.
That's incredible. Am I right in thinking that's a PB for him as well? I
don't know, actually. It could well be. I don't know. Is the honest answer?
Yeah, because that's awesome. Yeah, going and doing another major in sub-3, which is wicked.
I mean, we're only going off Strava here, but if I go on best efforts, statistics, marathon. So it's got here his best marathon. Well, marathon, would have been New York City Marathon. So well done, Kieran. That's your
hang on,
PB.
Kieran, hang on his because on his Instagram, his marathon PB before New York was 2:59.08.
Nice.
So
flipping hell, he must have.
Yeah. So to go and do that injured, incredible work.
Yeah.
Because he had a great race at Worcester half as part of his training. So he was looking in good shape, but obviously going in injured and the ideal start to a marathon. But there we go.
No.
And then I want to give a shout out to Vince Warren, guy I know who went over to run New York. I think he's done 3 of the majors this year. I think he run Boston. What was the other one he did? I think he did Boston. It might have even been Chicago as well. And then he did New York. But he's been injured this year. He's not had his best year, but he still went over there and ran really well. He ran a 3:01.46, which is awesome. But not only did he run a great race in New York, he ran the New York Marathon on his 47th birthday. So it was his birthday as he was running, which is awesome.
Wicked. That would be so cool to do a race on your birthday.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
So,
Oh, well done, mate.
Great work, Vince. Yeah. But, right, shall we go on to your training weeks?
Or yours if you like, because we could start with Parkrun the week last week. Or
if you want to start with my training week, it's short and simple. I went down to Parkrun on the Saturday. Jogged down there as I normally do. Was gonna run sensibly and run 20 minutes, and then ended up running a bit of a progression run and ran the last mile a bit quicker because there was people to chase. Ended up running 19 minutes something, I can't remember exactly. Then ran home. On Sunday, had a really good Sunday long run. I had no plan in mind. I just said, right, go out the door, run for 2 hours. And I started off. Let me grab my Strava for this. Hang on. I think I started off, and the first mile was about just over 8 minute mile. Where are we? Yeah, so I ran an 8:26 for my first mile, just as a bit of a warm up, and then I started to get down to like 7:30s and everything, and then towards the end of the run, I got down to like 7:15s, and the last mile was a 7:05. So pretty nice
Lovely.
graph. Quite a lot of
progression.
elevation and hills.
Yeah.
So elevation was 1,138 foot over 16 miles. So I covered 16.07 miles in 1 hour 59:49. So yeah, just under 2 hours. So
Nice.
pretty pleased with that. I had a really nice long run. Then towards the end of that run, my calf tightened up, and then I ran 5 miles up to my shop, 5 miles home, just nice and easy on the Monday, and my calf didn't feel great. And then on the Tuesday, ran down to session, did 3 miles in total for the warm up. I did 1.5 miles down to session and 1.5 miles warm up, and then managed to do 2.5 miles as part of the session. I did the first 1,200 reps and then had to call it a day, and that's my week done.
Oh God. Yeah. So Tuesday was a bit of a shocker then.
Yeah, but there we go. Never mind. Yeah, it's all good. But I had a great run on Sunday. I really enjoyed that. It's just a shame that obviously I ran either a bit too long or a bit too hard on Sunday and caused my calf to tighten up. And yeah, I'm now in the situation I am. But
4-day taper for cross country, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, last Saturday I said I was going to go to do Parkrun in Worcester, but I didn't in the end. I can't remember for what reason I didn't. But instead, I just did a local run. So at 8 or 9 o'clock, I just took Daisy out for a run, and we went sort of around the local trails. That was 6K, easy pace, and that was just nice easy one. Sunday probably had the training run of my life. I put the Kenya top on and my Alpha Flies, because I've not ruled out the Alpha. If anything, I've definitely ruled in the Alpha Flies as potential marathon day shoes now, and decided that I wanted to do a big session. I know you're not fond of going past 20 miles for training runs.
Yeah, I know.
But I did a 35K Sunday long run. Now, what I decided to do, I know I said I hadn't done much at marathon pace, which I haven't. So I decided now's the time. Second week of peak, I've got to do something. So what I did 5K blocks. I did 7 of them. I was going to do 6 and see how I felt, and maybe do the last one easy. And the idea was 2K easy, 3K marathon pace. It was that simple. The easy pace is what we talked about a few weeks ago. The easy pace I've increased. I've made about 15 to 20 seconds faster. So my easy pace is at 5:30 now, 5:25, where it used to be 5:45 to 5:50, which I now admit probably is a little bit closer to recovery pace than easy. So I thought, for the purposes of like a bit more of an intense workout, let's make that easy pace a little bit quicker. So that's what I did. I kept my easies back at 5:30s, and look at my graph. I'm quite pleased with. Let me see if I can show you it in big. It might not, because there's so many bloody splits. They might not all fit on the screen. So
that's your own fault for working in K's.
So it was.
Oh, mate.
So you can see the quite not.
Yeah.
So you can see the
That's
quite
incredible.
Nice blocks. So I was really pleased with the way it went. So
that's awesome, mate.
My first set was 4. So bear in mind, my magic number is 444. First set, 452, 435, 440. Second set, 440, 440, 438. Third set, 441, 443, 438. Next set, 442, 443, 443, 441, 444, 444, 445, 440, 452. And I thought, I literally had this chat with myself. For the 7th set, I just got to 32K and just done my last easy K. And I said, I'm wearing a Kenya vest. I literally cannot do this anything other. I literally said to myself, what would a Kenyan do?
Yeah.
Would a Kenyan be happy with programming a workout and not doing it? No, is the answer. So 4:46, 4:45, 4:44. Thank you very much.
Good
So that's
lad.
the seventh set done. So that was maybe the best session I've ever done. I did a
Yeah.
very similar one for Newport. The route I chose was pan flat, so it was a bit of a Valencia simulation, really. So it's all around the river and around the race course. There's a road crossing each lap, which was slightly annoying, but I managed to only nearly get run over once, which was the last one. Well, I nearly did my knee in because I had to make a quick turn to not get hit by a bus, but that was fine. Well, it wasn't fine, but I managed to stay alive. And then on the next day, which was now in week 13, did a recovery run. And bear in mind, that took me to 90.75K. No, it didn't. It took me to 106K. So second biggest, not including ultras, second biggest training week ever, because my first biggest was in Newport, which I'm hopefully going to smash this week. So Monday did a recovery run, which was 13K, sorry.
Before you go on to this week,
yep.
One thing I wanted to ask you is, did you set out to run that far on the Sunday, or was it just a thing of let's add another set on at the end? So
no, it was always
21 mile in the plan. Well, nearly 22 mile. Was that on your plan?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do 7 blocks because up until that day, I don't think I'd hit 30, or if I had, it'd been a bit of a damp squib, really. So I just wanted to have a really good, solid workout, and I wanted to do 35. So I wanted to get just push it a little bit closer to the marathon distance, just to see, because I know that 30 mile is very different to 30K feels very different to 35, as 18 does to 21. Like that little you can feel okay. I know this sounds mental to say, but you can feel okay up until 18 miles. But when you get to 21, if you're still feeling okay, then something's probably going right. But so many marathons I've done before, 18 miles or 30K, 28, 30K, I've really started to struggle. So I was really pleased with myself that I managed to stick it out and do that super long run and get that 35K in.
Yeah, it's good.
And this Sunday coming, I'm not going to do as far as that. So that's going to be my longest long run in the block. And then, so the Monday was the recovery run. The day after, and bear in mind, don't have a go at me. Well, it's too late now because I've only got 2 days left. I'm doing running every day for my last 2 peak weeks just to make sure I can get all the volume in. So I can see by your look, unless your computer's frozen. No, it hasn't frozen. You've given me the look. How you feel about that? But that just basically saves me cramming in some big runs.
It's peak weeks, so, and to be able to get that mileage in, spread it across the days rather than running stupid mileage on the days that you do run, which probably sensible. Yeah. So
I've been keeping those recovery days really nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
So Wednesday I did a 6K. It was just really, really chilled pace. And then Wednesday, so that was Tuesday, sorry, another chilled one. No, that was Tuesday. So Wednesday I did a crazy day. Wednesday I did a 20K steady run. Every kilometer was steady. And I just fancied it. I just got up and I thought, I want to do 2 hard days this week, minimum. And Wednesday has become my hard day. And I thought, well, I don't want to do an easy long run. I think, let's just, it's not crazy fast. It's not half marathon pace fast. It's like steady. So I went out at, I did in Ks, it's 5:10s to 5:15s I was looking at. And I ended up progressing. So I ended up sort of, don't know if you can see that. I ended up going
nice.
A bit quicker at the end, which was nice. And then finished that run and then headed to the track later that evening. And I knew that was going to not be an easy day because I thought, no, I'm not going to let myself enjoy too much recovery because we can recover on recovery days. Today's a hard day. And the session was it was a hard one, I'll be honest. Only 2 sets, 4 800s and 2 200s. So with 75 seconds recovery. And on the 200s, I allowed myself to walk, from the end of from where you finish your 600 or your 200 rep.
Yeah.
We sort of walked diagonally across the football pitch.
Oh, okay. Right.
So we didn't go around the bend and,
Okay.
So I was running with a lad called George, and we basically did the same session, which was nice. So I decided to run the 800s at 10K pace, my new 10K pace, which is basically 5K pace, which is less than 4 kilometers, 4 minutes a K, which is sub 20 or sub 40 10K. So I did, and then the 200s were at 98% effort. So I don't think I've ever ran that fast in my life. And what spurred me on the last one was George, this lad, he said, after about the 4 or 5 strides into the last one, he's like, "Don't let me beat you." And that's all I needed. That's all I needed to hear. Because look at my last 200. Can you see it? That one.
That's brilliant.
So I did it. My last 200 was 35 seconds. And it was that was a lot quicker than I would normally run a 200. But yeah, really, really genuinely enjoyed it. So I know people don't probably going to switch off when I talk about my splits, but the first 800 was 3:15, 3:14, 3:12, 3:12. So mega pleased with that. Then 39 and 38 for the twos. And the 800s were the second set, 3:18, 3:13, 3:15, 3:13, and then 39 and 35 for the 200s. And then it was an easy 800 to cool down. That was 11K. So that was a 31K day.
Awesome.
So I was mega, mega pleased with that. And then Thursday was, went for an easy 10K Thursday, 7 o'clock in the morning with Daisy. She's like, "Can we go for a walk, please?" I was like, "I'll see you walk and I'll raise you a run." So we had a little recovery run, 10K, around the hills and the lanes, which was nice. And that brings us to today. And today I decided to do a steady run. I did a recce for my Sunday long run, which rumour has it, there's a vicious rumour going around that maybe you might be joining me for my Sunday long run. Maybe.
Yes.
If you're
maybe.
fit and healthy.
Yes.
But I did a recce today.
Okay.
It's going to be 10K loops, unfortunately.
That's cool.
So
that's actually that's possibly a good thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because obviously my calf is playing up, so it all depends on how it feels tomorrow after cross country.
Yeah.
But I am a man of my word, and I have been saying for the last month, maybe longer, that I would come out and run this final long run of your block with you and run the paces that we need to run. So I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I will come and do it. So as my calf isn't 100%, I was going to bring my bike along and cycle along you, alongside you, like Matt Choi's brother. Mine hasn't got an electric engine though. It is just a proper bicycle. So I'm going to bring that along, and I was going to cycle with you if my calf wasn't up to it. But you saying it's 10K loops is actually good, because I can come and try and run, and if my car feels naff after the first 10K, I'll just jump on the bike and then come and catch you up.
We'll run past the pub, and surely there's going to be somewhere where you can lock your bike up.
Yeah.
On the pub car park or something. And it'll be 9 o'clock in the morning, so it should be fine as well. But yeah, I did a recce today, and it's sort of almost exactly 10K loops. So I'm thinking 32K, which is 20 mile, isn't it?
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what we did for fishing. And what I would really like to do is do a very similar session to your fishing session.
Yeah.
Which was sort of like progressive quarters.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 mile blocks.
5 miles, and then progress in pace each 5 miles. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I've just seen the time.
Yeah.
I thought we'd done about 1 hour 8. I can't believe it's 1:48. Still got emails, comments to do, and the Strava. I mean, not missing the Strava segment this week.
I know.
Definitely not.
I know.
We'll find out why soon.
But yeah, I will be with you on Sunday, whether I am on 2 feet or 2 wheels. Either way, we will be running the paces that you need to hit for that progression run. So
cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. So we should probably move on to things because we've got 10 minutes to get through our comments and emails very quickly.
Yeah.
So let's just go to the comments quickly. So first one is from Here Comes Bod, and it says, have you seen Al Pepper's video of his DJI Neo testing? Definitely worth a watch after hearing Andy's story. I've been tempted to get one, but now I'm not so sure. So I possibly need to go and check out that video because I was tempted to get one as well. So
it's amazing.
Any further with the finding?
No, still, it could be in a tree. It could be, who knows where it is. But no, still nothing on the Neo front for me. And so much so, I am considering getting a new one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I won't fly it as irresponsibly as last time. Just get one. Just don't fly it irresponsibly.
Yeah. And put an air tag on it.
Yeah.
So, we probably need to go and check out that video. Then, on our last video, we have a comment. First comment on the last video was from Matt Southam, and it says, happy Saturday. Yay, new podcast day. So, cheers for that, Matt. And then we've got an ongoing commentary from a friend of the podcast, Mac, who must have been listening and just commenting when he heard things that he wanted to comment on. So first one is eat to run, run to eat. Perfect. Then if the marathon didn't go ahead, you'd do 17 laps of Pitchcroft or 105 laps of the track. That's what he thinks you'd do.
That sounds brutal.
Yeah. And then he's put, I can't decide if Brett is the best or worst pacer. Brutal. I love
it. Me neither, mate. I still haven't made my mind up.
But he did say heroic performance at Redditch, inspiring stuff. And then he says, I think Kipchoge colorway could justify a hall pass for Brett. And it is very tempting. I'll tell you what, that colorway in the Alpha Fly just looked great. But
it does look good.
I don't know if I could spend nearly 300 quid on a pair of shoes, which I've never tried out and I don't know would work. So yeah. I think I'll stick to the 3 stripes for now. Especially as the Pro 4 is coming out in January. And I can't wait for that.
You'd run like, have you ever seen you put like little shoes on a cat? you just wouldn't be able to walk properly. You'd be like, how does this work? That's how exactly you would run if you put some Alpha Flies on.
Yeah, probably. That's brilliant. Yeah. I like that. Then Ian Price says, thanks for the mention, Brett. Well done, Andy. Fantastic PB. So Ian was the guy just behind you in the meta speeds that you could hear throughout the whole race. And he managed to come in with a new PB of sub 41 minutes as well. I think he knocked a minute off his PB. So amazing work, Ian.
Amazing. Yeah.
Then
so it wasn't just me you were pacing that day. It was probably a whole
Then one from Rob Scott, who said, great episode, guys, and congrats to Andy on smashing his 10k PB. Got me thinking about the benefits of being paced or at least racing in a pack. I've often found I'm ahead of the masses, but way behind the really fast guys. If the Bromsgrove Ingebrigtsen fancies a go at sub 40...
I will take that. He can only do it when he's paced. Yeah. When he's got the little lights on the track.
If the Bromsgrove Ingebrigtsen fancies a go at sub 40, could he or both of you be tempted by the Trafford 10k in March? I'll be looking to take my 42.10 PB and make it start with a 3, and I've heard it's a fast race.
The Trafford 10k?
Trafford 10k in March. So
I heard a lot about it. Doesn't it? Yeah, doesn't it just sell out like that because it's so popular?
Yeah, so we could have a look at that possibly. Yeah, we will let you know, Rob. We will let you know.
Yeah, I'll be well up for that.
Yeah.
The bronze grove fingerprints, for fuck's sake.
And then and then Tom Pothecary says, "Great to finally make the Strava leaderboard." Yeah, which is ace. I love the fact that people are like now trying to get to Strava leaderboard, so that's awesome. Great work, Tom. Then Mike Hardin says, "Cheers for the advice, lads. I will just focus on enjoying the holiday." So this is Mike, who was going on holiday straight after his marathon, and then 2 days after he comes back off holiday, he's running a half marathon. But he said, "Cheers for the advice, lads. I will just focus on enjoying the holiday. I didn't mention I'll be snowboarding for the 2 weeks, so it's basically 2 weeks of solid S&C anyway." Was blown away by the PB, Andy. Massive congratulations. Is this your best training block yet?
Yeah, 100%, hands down. I thought Newport was, and I thought Newport, but just when you sort of seem to stack them back to back, and don't forget, I'm fairly young in my kind of running life, so it's hopefully still going to go uphill for a little bit to go, but yeah, definitely the best one I've done so far. Consistency is everything. Yeah,
amazing. And then last one is from Daniel Neal. So Dan, who we ran with on Sunday, and he says, "Hello, lads. Another great episode rolls by, and I just wanted to say thank you for keeping a lot of us entertained every week, and also thank you for having me at the Kingfisher 10K. We didn't have you there, Dan. You went and ran an absolute smashing race. So I think we all knew the assignment and just cracked on with the task at hand. Congrats, Andy, for a very dangerous effort and your new PB. I'm sure it will be put to the test again pretty soon. Keep up the good work." So cheers, man. Dan. Nice one, mate.
Yeah, big love, Dan. And I'm sorry I didn't realise that he'd run a PB on the day. I thought, oh, he was just taking it easy. I didn't think he was like, he'd run a PB.
He was hiding it like you, chatting away for the whole race. And then at 9K, he just went, "I'll see you later."
See you, lads.
Disappeared off into the distance.
Yeah. So is that all for the? Is there any more?
That's all the comments.
Right, we've only got 3 emails. Then we'll start with Joey D, Joe Donkin, who wrote in, and it's the Floodlit Festive 5. "Hi, gents. Possibly the best start to an email I've ever heard in my life. I've been watching Andy's videos for a while and been aware of Brett for some time, as he once followed me into the bushes with his camera as I was releasing pre-race fluids ahead of a Birmingham Cross Country League race."
If that's the guy,
please tell me you were racing that day.
Yeah, if that's the guy I can remember, I had my camera with me and I was filming at the start of like way before the race, just to get some footage of what was going on. And I thought, I need a pee, so I went into the bush, and there was another guy peeing, and obviously I was holding my camera whilst having a pee, and he was like, "I hope you're not filming that," because my camera was pointing directly at where I was. So that
get the content, haven't you?
That's amazing.
Oh, we'll expect to see that urination in the next few weeks when you get round to editing it. However, I've only just recently discovered the podcast and I'm really enjoying it. Keep up the good work. Well done, Andy, on your 10K PB last week. As he's now promised us all a sub-20 PB before the end of the year, can I suggest a Floodlit Festive 5 in Stourport? There's a 3-race summer series and then this race on Wednesday, December the 4th. That's close, 3 days after my marathon supposed to be. That takes place on the same course. It's not the biggest of events, but the race takes place on a closed road cycling track that is absolutely rapid. I ran 2 of the summer series races and took home a new 5K PB both times. One to consider. Keep up the good work, Joey D. Good shout. Really good shout. Fairly local, Stourport
and amazing work on 2 PBs in 2 races. Amazing work.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, it sounds like if it's tried and tested, we could maybe give it a go. Yeah, well, if Valencia doesn't happen and for whatever reason, could make an appearance. This one is from Will Ford. Now, he basically sent me an Instagram message saying the same thing, but we must have chatted and I must have forgotten about it. So sorry, Will. He says, hi both, love the pod. Hate doing my long run of the week without it now. I've got a few questions. One I DM'd to Andy over Instagram a few weeks ago, but he's so indulged in the prawn crackers, he forgot to mention it. What is this podcast? How is it a running podcast? Just regarding carb loading in foreign countries, do you take carb? He said crab. Do you take carb powders, bagels, etc., or rely on food over there? Do you take crab powders?
Ooh, crab sticks.
Crab flavored sticks. They don't actually contain any crab. So what do you think about that? Because I should probably give that some thought, really. How on earth am I going to carb load in Valencia? Because France, easy. Everything's pastry. Spain, I don't know too much about Spain. Do they sell saurine in Spain?
Just take your own.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just take your own.
He says here, do you take carb powders, bagels, etc., or rely on food over there? So obviously, I'm not the best person to ask about this because last time I did this, something similar to this, I was in Amsterdam. I was staying in a hotel, and I was just eating, the hotel food. Went out for dinner the night before. Wasn't really thinking about what I should have been eating that week. In fact, I was still on the beers that week, as I remember. I was in Belgium 3 days before that, half cut. In fact, I was one-eyed actually. Thinking about it, we went to blooming place called Ghent, and they serve you had to give your shoe as a deposit in this bar because you get a really unique yard of ale, but it looks like a cross between a test tube and like a boiling flask on the bottom. And you have to drink it like that, but you have to give your shoe as a deposit. And I thought, well, yeah, go on, I'd heard about this place, so I went and did it, drank it. It was like 19% beer. It was absolutely mortal. But I think I'm tempted. I haven't trained with powders.
See, that's what I was going to say. If you've been training and you're used to using carb drinks, I would say take some with you because it's such an easy way of getting carbs on for that carb load. And you're not only getting your carbs on, you're hydrating at the same time. So it's a really good way of doing it. But if you've not trained with it, I don't know. It's a difficult one. It shouldn't cause you any gut discomfort, but new things are always not a great thing to try out so close to your race. Yeah,
I mean, for me, it's probably just going to be. I don't know. I'm probably just going to be stuffing my face. I'm probably the day or two before. I'm probably just going to try and eat little and often, I think.
Yeah. But I guarantee wherever you're staying will have a kettle and things like that. So just take some oats, some porridge with you. Take some bagels with you in your suitcase. They're not going to have any problems with you taking some food over into another country. Just whatever you use as your normal carb load, just take it with you. Some Haribo or wine gums and stuff as like a nice quick sugar source, topping up that glycogen in your muscles. Whatever you normally use, just take some with you.
And you're a big fan of saurine, aren't you, as we all know?
Yes, massive fan of it. Yeah.
He says, another question, with race places becoming hard to come by or more and more expensive, I want to plan my 2025 calendar before it's too late. Which races would you recommend as some of your favorites? Any distance, and I like little and big events. Well, I mean, I don't know what neck of the woods you're in, Will. I don't know. I've got a feeling Will is north of where we live. So I feel bad saying come and do the Birmingham Half Marathon, but that would probably that would be one I'd recommend.
Yeah, definitely. Birmingham Half is great. Unfortunately, it's the week after London next year, so I won't be racing it.
Will you be doing it?
I might do it. I don't know. I might do it. I've got to make a decision on that because it's the Sunday after the London Marathon. I'd say one that you should put on your calendar is the Two Castles if you can get a place. I absolutely love that race. It's so good.
Yeah. So your video's just come out about it, hasn't it? And
Yeah.
it's a point-to-point race from Warwick Castle and obviously Warwickshire to Kenilworth Castle, and it's obviously a 10K. It's not an easy 10K, but it's during midsummer as well. But it's just a really good, feel-good race, isn't it? And it's just well supported.
Brilliant.
It's about 6,000 runners, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So that was good.
Love it. What other races would you do?
Not a race, but I would say Bushy Park. Go and do Bushy Park.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good shout, actually.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Bushy. So if you can get down to London, well, it is London, but it's not. If you can get down to that neck of the woods, Richmond, that kind of way.
Kingston.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be well worth a visit. That was a good parkrun.
What other races is there? I
don't know what you're doing next year, Will.
I'll tell you what's good fun. Leamington Spa Half. If you're anywhere close to there, that's a decent race, good fun. And Western Half is good fun as well.
If you can get a place, if you like going to the beach, have a look at coming down to where is it? Somerset, Wiltshire. Don't even know what Western is, but it's a really nice race with you literally run on the beach. So hopefully we'll see you at a race 2025, if not before. No, I'm going to see Will in Valencia, or if we go.
Amazing.
So so we'll see you there.
Awesome.
The last email is a follow-up from how we left last week, and it's from Jordan over in New Zealand, and he said, "Hi Andy and Brit." He's not even from New Zealand, so I don't probably speaks like us. The taper went well, by the way. I went with the 2-week taper with 111K being my peak week total. So it's about 70 miles, I think, just over 70 miles, maybe more, being my peak week total. So week 1 of the taper was a 30% reduction. Then week 2 was 70%. I even did a slow park run before the marathon as a shakeout, as I wouldn't normally run the day before. The marathon itself, I managed the time of, this is when he was saying he wanted 3:30. And bear in mind, Jordan had said a year or two ago, he'd run like a 5-high marathon, 5:40 something, I think.
Yeah.
He managed a time of 3:19:41.
Whoa.
So you guys were correct in the fact that I was brackets sandbagging myself. Inverted commas.
Yeah, damn right.
I even managed a very strong negative split with my last 3K being 4:04:6:32 per mile. I didn't hit the wall or stop other than a couple of pit stops, which lost me around 60 seconds, but felt pretty strong throughout. I didn't even say pretty, but felt strong throughout, and only started to feel cramp in my right hamstring at 32K, all while recording on my GoPro. Oh, wicked. Let us know the link when you make it, if you've not already made it. I was umming and ahhing taking, there's a one for Will, the Auckland Marathon. Go and do that next year. Which I was umming and ahhing taking, as I'd never recorded while running before, but I wanted to capture the experience, which I'm glad I did. What a race, and I'm still over the moon with how well I did. It's great seeing Brett upload videos again, and Andy, I wish you all the best of luck for Valencia. You got this. I will finish with a question. This could take us to 3 hours.
Yeah.
What was the reason or aspiration you guys had to start recording your runs? And just before I show you that, look at his pretty looking marathon. That perfect progression.
Whoa, look at that.
Kilometer splits. He finished with a 4:04, like he said. That is absolutely bonkers. And can you see the pace graph?
That's awesome.
The top line?
Yeah.
It's just an upward curve of an upward facing graph of pace. So amazingly well done, Jordan. That is a serious effort.
Incredible.
And well done. And thanks for writing in. So for me, it's pure and simple, really. I just like doing it. When I'm running, I sometimes feel like I've got thoughts in my head and I want to do the equivalent of jotting down. So sometimes I quite like saying what I'm thinking because it's just like a memory for me. And then I feel like sharing the process has helped my running so much over the last 4 years, to the fact that I've met people like Brett, who have from all parts of the world, who have just helped me get things right and, do things better. And filming myself, if I hadn't have started filming my runs, I don't think I'd be doing as well as I am now. I think that's the truth. I know I sound like an influencer in saying that, but I don't think I would be, because I don't think I would have made the connections, and I think sometimes when you say something out loud as well, you kind of answer your own questions. So you sort of learn that way by actually vocalizing some thoughts and feelings you're having. But the long and short of it is, I just really genuinely enjoy it, and it's just so cool just to find other people out there who are into the same stuff that you are.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I love doing it, but it was from, obviously I've always loved running, and I've enjoyed doing races and stuff, but when I got back into running properly and really started to take it serious and take it up a notch and start to really think about my training, I was consuming as much information as I possibly could. I wanted to get faster, I wanted to get stronger, I wanted to be better. So I was consuming stuff, and that was books, that was podcasts, that was absolutely everything, including YouTube. And I was watching videos of people, Andy included, and I just watched Andy's videos and thought, and other people, and thought, that looks great fun. I want to do that too. I want to document what I'm doing. And do you know what? The same as what you've said of, you don't think you'd be improving as much as you have without filming it. Partly, one of the reasons I think I pushed myself to run a sub 3 was, thank you. Come on. Sorry, my cat's just started clawing my my chair. So one of the reasons I pushed myself so hard, I think, to get that sub 3 at Manchester was I was held accountable by my documenting of the journey. I put out there that I was going to attempt to run a sub 3, and that made me and spurred me on to do everything I possibly needed to do to go and run that sub 3. I wasn't going to half-arse it. I wasn't going to cut short. I was going to do everything I needed to go and do it. And it's pushed me further forward. And to then go and do the next block at Manchester, I'd learned so much from what I'd done before. And because I'd got it all documented, I could look back and go, where did I make mistakes? Where did I go wrong? What didn't quite go right? And I've changed it, and I've documented it again. And yeah, it's just, I enjoy doing it. I don't do it for anything other than the fact that I enjoy filming, and I enjoy putting the videos together and putting them out there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And that's, and we're all glad you do. I think it's, it's awesome that we get to do this. And there's nothing better than, I'm going to set Partridge. I am such a big head. Sometimes I watch some of my old videos back, and I think, man, I'm so proud of that particular race or run.
Yeah.
Like my first Brighton Marathon or my Amsterdam one or whatever. And I've got that memory, to always watch. So, yeah. Film the best moments of your adult life, which will probably revolve around running.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. But one last thing that we need to do before we go is the Strava segment.
Yes.
So I will pull that up, and this is where there's quite a funny little story. So last week's leaderboard, let me just reload it to make sure it is 100% up to date. So last week's leaderboard was topped by a young man named Andy Maguire, who finished on 66 miles for the week. But what he actually finished on was 66.08 miles for the week. And in second place on the leaderboard is a guy of the name Brett Elesmore. And he finished on 66 miles for the week. But what he actually finished on was 66.07 miles for the week. So, Andy, you beat me by 0.01 miles last week.
How many meters is that?
I don't know. But I finished my run on Sunday. Had a look at what I'd run, finished, started walking down the road, thought I'll have a look on Strava on the leaderboard and see how Andy got on, because he had a massive session on Sunday morning, and I didn't run till the Sunday evening. And I saw you were on 0.01 of a mile more than me, and I was like, I'm so tempted to just start my watch again and go and do another, I don't know, quarter of a mile. But I didn't. I left it there. So Andy, you get the dub for this week. The W. I came in second, and third was KQ. Carl Quiney came in third with 63.9 miles.
Unlucky boys.
But then with our climbing, so our elevation gain, first place was Dean Upton, and he finished the week on 5,118 foot. Ryan Gowan, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm hoping anyway. Ryan Gowan, and he was second with 4,484 foot. And in third place was me and the Hills of Redditch with 4,081 foot.
Not bad.
And then I shall just have a quick look for our top three ladies. So first lady from last week was Aveen D on 49.1 miles. Second place was D. Cook Rees with 38.8 miles. And third was Sophie Voller with 35.4 miles. So amazing running from everybody. And we have gone way over time. We are now on what, 216? So we should probably leave it there, shouldn't we?
We've not even broke the women's world record today.
I know. It's mad. But there we go. Right. Thank you so much for watching or listening or however you consume this podcast. We really do appreciate every single one of you. And we shall see you next week. Cheers, guys.
Goodbye from the Bromsgrove in Ingebrigtsen. I'll have to have some crab powders.